My alarm usually goes off at about 5:30, and it's dark, and it's cold. No one's awake. The campus is quiet. It's calm. We get down to the boathouse, and it's the most ideal way to start your day. It's a perfect time to kind of think about your day, think about what you're going to do, but it's also a perfect time to forget all of that as well and kind of just think about you in your boat and the noise of your oars hitting the water. It's just very peaceful. So as the sun comes up, you go from seeing nothing at all to seeing all the high-rises and the apartment buildings, and you leave the dock when it's dark, and by the time you come back, morning has kind of started, and it seems to happen from one stroke to the next. I'm not sure what Ben Franklin meant by true learning. I think for me, true learning at Penn has meant putting yourself in situations that you don't necessarily think that you can handle or succeed at, and kind of stepping up to it.
I'd say that true learning would be learning how to learn.
Penn really encourages you to take the approach of not only are you learning for your career, but you're learning for your life.
It's one thing if you're learning in a classroom, it's another thing if you're actually participating in what people at the top of your field are doing.
That's kind of the coolest thing about Penn is it's pushing your mind and pushing yourself to think in different ways. That to me is true learning. Growing up in Canfield, it's a very small town. It's about, I would say, 7,000 people. A fairly homogenous town as well. And I loved it. I grew up there, and it was great, but I knew I wanted to explore.
Penn was the last school that I came to, and I remember feeling really anxious that I had been to so many schools and hadn't found one that was the perfect fit for me. And I remember putting a lot of pressure on myself when I came here. This has to be the one, or I'm not gonna find any college that I'm gonna be comfortable at. And it was.
I was completely surprised and wowed by how open people were here. And I remember calling my mom. I was like, I meet people all the time, just running into them or standing behind them in a line for cafeteria food. And everyone's just seems to be really nice and personable here.
I met people from Kenya, from England, from Italy, from Australia, from Turkey, even from places in the Middle East that I probably would have never gotten to meet had I not come to an institution like Penn.
Any topic of interest, there's other people here who have the same interests. So you always wind up finding people who like the same things you do or who do the same things you do, which is really exciting because then you have people who know more about it than you and they can challenge you to learn more.
We all are here for a common purpose, which is to get an amazing education. But also the other part that I like about it is that that's not the only reason why students are here. Students are very social at Penn, and they're also very involved.
I knew that I wanted a medium to large size school in an urban environment, but I also really wanted a campus because I knew that a lot of urban schools are like kind of stretched out over these city blocks, and you kind of lose that like college feeling. And so I came to Penn, and it had like everything I wanted, and everything just kind of like clicked together at once. I was like, this is it, this is my moment.
I know I wanted to come to a big university, someplace that does lots of research, has lots of professors that do very important work, particularly in chemistry, biology, and all the fields that I was interested in. And I knew Penn has very great faculty. I'd heard they have accessible faculty.
And the campus itself is gorgeous. I mean, if you're in the middle of campus, you really wouldn't know you're in a city because there's grass and you can sit and it's nice and quiet and you have these gorgeous buildings.
Penn is an incredibly thriving campus situated in the middle of a booming city. It's a great experience. And it's something that I really value, the chance to learn, not just from your classroom studies, but from day-to-day life in a city.
There was just no way I could have anticipated all the amazing gifts that Penn could have given me in terms of experience, in terms of the people that I met, in terms of the incredible professors I had, the things I learned in classes. So basically, my first semester is everything I could have wanted it to be and more.
Everybody fits in at Penn. You will find your niche. you will find those things that spark you. And they might be very different from what you thought they were going to be. So put on your seatbelts and get ready for the ride. It's going to be wonderful.
When you come from high school, especially for me, a lot of times you think everything is done systematically. You just kind of learn the methodology and you repeat it. I don't want to just go to school and just learn repetition. I don't want to just learn formulas. I want to learn how to think, and I want to learn kind of a broad-based way of approaching problems and approaching different disciplines.
What is the raw data telling us? Like, are there any shockers here? The perceived disadvantages of being female.
I think it's interesting because a lot of our advantages of being female were the same as the disadvantage of being male.
Then they had to, did you all see this ad?
A lot of people think, you know, professors live in this ivory tower. Nothing they do really relates to the real world, but at a place like Penn, that's not the case at all.
But we still don't really know what the public itself thinks. And they can represent big portions of the population, especially a population like West Philadelphia. So there's a strength to that, a value to that, but there's a weakness to that.
When you have an instructor that truly loves what they're doing, they come to class excited to kind of pass that electrical spark to you. You can feel it when you're sitting in the classroom, like these little electricity bulbs going off, and people are starting to get it, and they're starting to question, and they're starting to wonder.
Technically, yes, that's about it. History's not made in quiet times. I was kind of interested in the dramatic.
The thing that I love about Penn is that in all of my classes, that electrical spark is there.
Dr. Skenga?
Do they what?
Do they already have this cut?
Ah. And so I tried to just cut through the wall, and the wall is kind of thick.
All right. Oh, now what?
Now, we've already heard a reference tone, so this is cheating. But if I just went and scramble things up here, confuse you a little bit, and then we play this note, can anybody tell me what that note is? There are two competing theories of where frequency gets turned into pitch.
Penn has taught me so many things in the classroom that I can't help but incorporate it into my entire life. And that's when you really understand that that's true learning. When you can take the things that have been sparked in the classroom, but they basically change and affect your whole life.
Half of my professors I would call my friends. So not only do you have them as mentors and advisors, and you can learn a lot from them, but they're your friends. They know how to talk you out of class, and they have fun.
The professors are just at such a great intellectual capacity, and the students are also at that level. And so it's really great because it pushes you a lot harder than you thought you could go. It's solved in a happy way and solved in a humorous way.
So these are very good and insightful observations about, you know, the theory of comment.
It's very easy in a lot of universities to get lost in the shuffle. And when you have Penn traditions, whether it's homecoming or heyday or convocation, you really bond your class together.
So this is our IB Championships. We have it every year, and this year we're hosting it. I'm actually one of our captains this year, so I'm really excited. Also, just the excitement and the pride of representing Penn. Such a great feeling knowing that it's like contributed something to Penn.
When people walk away from it, they say, Penn was great to me, and it was a great experience because it was so personal.
Noon on Locust Walk. You just never know which one of your friends you're going to bump into.
Almost everybody has to walk down Locust Walk at least once a day to get to either class, to get to the grocery store, to get to a party, whatever, you have to walk down Locust. And it's just a cool place where, you know, you're walking along and your friends are there 24/7.
I love the Locust Walk experience. Everyone says that after a few days at Penn, you can't walk down Locust Walk without seeing at least 5 people that you know, and that's definitely true.
It's kind of the heartbeat, the pulse of the campus. Regardless of the time of year, there are tons of students walking down the walk, and I love it most, I think, in the early fall and late spring when the flowers are out, when the leaves are falling, and the sunlight's piercing through it, and it's electricity.
Provides an incredible sense of security, a very strong sense of community as well. It makes me feel as though I'm really part of something larger.
You like a humor magazine. You know you do. That's right.
I've been working in a laboratory at the Wistar Institute, which is a great research institution on Penn's campus here. We work with all kinds of things that are at least somewhat related to cancer. I'm in the Vangelis Scholars Program, which is an intensive biochemistry program. And the idea is that we have a very intensive math background, we have a very intensive physics background, and that we can really look at things in sort of a way that biologists haven't traditionally been looking at the world. The work itself is intellectually interesting, but it's good to know that it's gonna help people. Yeah, you're definitely going into something that's never been done before.
Why do we say shh? Do you remember?
Amniotic fluid whooshing by your ears.
Kind of mom's heart rate too, right?
My personal goal in nursing is to become a certified nurse midwife so that I will be able to deliver babies.
Finally, with the shushing works.
Yeah, hold on to it, bud. Penn nurses, I think they're very progressive, not just with healthcare in general, but also with the profession of nursing. They're really trying to advance nurses' roles in this country and change people's perspective on what does a nurse do and what is a nurse able to do.
At the same time, like that. What you want to do too.
Hey, Stu, it's Cameron. I want to get the group together for the marketing meeting tonight to discuss the project. Warren's very good at helping people decide what they want to do. Because as a sophomore, you take what's called the core, which is a series of classes that are meant to get you familiar with a number of topics in business, not just marketing or finance or accounting. So I took all these different courses and saw an entire world of business and selected the one that I thought would be best for me, which was finance and also management.
My favorite place to study is in the Fisher Fine Arts Library, which supposedly has the stigma on campus of being the quietest / the worst place to study, because if you drop your pen, supposedly everyone gives you a nasty look. You have to go up this like winding metal staircase, and there's like this little cubby in the back. And I shouldn't be telling this because I'm giving away my favorite place, but I like it because it's out of the way, and it's gorgeous.
When I first came to Penn, I had no dance experience, and that was very evident at at the parties I would go to. So that was unfortunate. So I saw this dance group, the Maka. It was an all-male South Asian dance troupe. Being half Indian, I thought it would be really cool to sort of learn a new style of dance, or learn how to dance, Peter. Learn a new style of dance, especially one that reflected part of my culture. They took me under their wing, they taught me all their moves, they taught me, the correct dance styles, how to perform on stage. The day that I got into Dhamaka, my sort of experience at Penn definitely took a turn, and I think it was a turn for the better.
Before coming to Penn, 3 things I really knew about Philadelphia were only cheesesteaks, Tom Hanks, and Rocky. Philadelphia has a very unique energy, and I've been to a number of big cities like New York City and Boston and DC, and this city is just so diverse and so multicultural. Music's a big part of life here, food's a big part of life here, and Penn has a big impact here as well, so people really think and are philosophical and very educated.
I love to go into Center City. There's a lot of things to do, from seeing movies to shopping to going out to eat. There's fabulous restaurants on every block, multiple restaurants. It's really easy. There's multiple modes of transportation. Cabs are not expensive at all. Walking is perfectly feasible. Center City is about a 15 to 20-minute walk from any part on campus. There's great public transportation systems, buses, SEPTA, subway, and it's just all a matter of going out and doing it, I'd say. There's so much culture and art. I love the Philadelphia Museum of Art. I was there this past weekend with my friend who was visiting in town, and I showed her around, and I have a membership now, so I'm pretty excited about it.
So I'm in the university choir. It's cool because it's not only undergrad, it's graduate students, and it's also people in the larger Philadelphia community. So that's kind of cool, being able to make music with all different types of people. It's a lot of fun. You go to class all day long, and you just kind of need this creative outlet that's unlike anything you've been doing that day, and that's what choir is for me.
Fun is definitely wherever the night takes you. Because when you're with the right people, even if you stay in your room all night watching TV or a movie, that's fun.
Any Penn game, but especially the Penn-Princeton game, because it's such a heated rivalry, is an unbelievable experience. My father and I have always had a passion for sports. And literally since I was 4 or 5 years old, I've been going to the Penn-Princeton games. And we used to sit in the student section. It was on my dad's shoulders, and it was, it's just a great experience. And it's fun for me to have that experience come full circle now that I'm a student here. Students are cheering. Everybody's standing on their feet, jumping up and down the entire game, chanting at the other, taunting the other team. It's pretty an unbelievable experience.
Every day, there's absolutely no reason to ever be bored because there are so many things going on.
Of course we're going to tout diversity because that's our situation. And of course we don't want people to think we're unhappy with it or anything.
A slip of the soul. A broken simulacrum.
There's so many meetings that you could go to. There's so many events that you can support. There's so many community service opportunities. So you just never know who you're going to end up talking to. You never know what sort of opportunities are going to be thrown your way, that end up really fitting you, that you end up really walking away from feeling enriched, feeling like you really took something away from it.
I think that if you were to define the art of DJing, it's to take energy from yourself and give it to a lot of people through music. it's just really connecting with the artistic side of me, which really helps balance out, you know, my education and finance.
I see students all the time as I travel around the country and the world who are thinking about where should I go to college. And what they're thinking about is not only where can I get in, but where will I fit in. And one of the distinctive features of Penn is that everyone who's talented fits in here and is welcome here. And that also goes back to Ben Franklin's vision of true learning in a great university. So every day, I pass Ben Franklin's statue outside my office in College Green. And most days when I pass it, I feel like saying, Ben, you'd be proud. You'd really be proud of our students. You'd really be proud of the university that you helped found.
I'm very honored that I was able to go to a place that allowed me to dream big. I plan to attend law school, and I do see myself applying to be a civil rights attorney for the FBI. And then I'm going to head the civil rights division of the FBI, and then after that, it's the presidency. Maybe, I don't know, too many gray hairs.
Ben Franklin had three basic principles to govern the true learning in higher education. One, I call access, which is universities should be open to talent regardless of someone's background. Principle number two is Franklin thought that we had to teach theory and practical knowledge. That's what we do across campus. The third principle is that when you put theory into practice, you should make a positive difference in the world. It is my great privilege to welcome you to the 251st commencement of the University of Pennsylvania. So what we really believe is that our students are being launched here into lives of leadership, lives that will be success-driven, but even more importantly, will be driven by the desire to make a difference in the world. Testimony whereof you will receive the diploma of this great university. Congratulations.
I'd say what I've learned at Penn is sort of how to learn. I think I could go into any field and be able to learn and be able to tackle it and be able to do well in it. I just want to do something that has an impact on the world, and I think Penn's definitely helped teach me how to do that.